So we have Hawk versus Focus. The map is Amazonia. And the matchup is of course human versus orc. As we see the human player Hawk with a standard build order, altar, barracks, farm. And Focus is the orc player here on the top right side of Amazonia. Is he going to go for one burrow tech or two burrow tech? So let's take a look at the heroes. Pretty sure we're gonna have an Archmage for the human. Yes, we do. And the Farseer for Focus here. So he's not playing Blade Master. He's playing a Farseer. Question is, will he try to creep to level 2, the orc, before harassing, or will he go for the instant level 1 Farseer harass, as we don't see an arcane tower in the human base yet. Footman is now scouting for Hawk. He's gonna see the Farseer. Creeping level 2 on this map, of course, very easy for the human, very fast with the militia, triggering the lightning shield in the Archmage for some faster creeping. As you can see, you trigger the lightning shield into the Archmage, then you pull the creeps here. The rock is gonna take the damage from your lightning shield. It gets the Circlet of Nobility, pretty good item, and yeah, Focus with the instant Farseer harass summons 2 wolves, and you want to summon them earlier on so that you can recast them faster. If you summon them when you're already here in front of the human base, then the cooldown is going to be longer and you won't be able to cast them fast when they get focused down. So Archmage is chasing the Farseer as the wolves are trying to get this peasant kill, but not getting it. And this Farseer is already low HP. Hawk is already level 2, so I feel like looking good for Hawk so far. Arcane Tower almost completed, and Focus didn't really achieve anything. I feel like Hawk could pressure the burrow here, as he already has 3 footmen, 4 footmen. Grant gets a snare here. Can he surround it with 4 units? Of course, closing a surround with 4 units, not necessarily easy, but he closes the surround and he gets the ground. That's big. Perfect early game for Hawk so far here. Still 0 experience on the Farseer. Can he cancel the healing salve? Yes, he cancels it with the footman. And Focus is already in trouble in this game, as the Archmage is moving towards level 3 very quickly. Maybe he's gonna get the first footman. Focus is, yes, he gets it. The first experience finally for the Farseer, but more and more experience for the Archmage as well. Another Grant gets ensnared, but the second footman is gonna fall, and this is going to be level 3 for Hawk. Can now go for burrows, as those burrows are really not protected, they are exposed. Look at this one. This one is an easy heal with the level 2 water elementals, but he lost 2 footies. He needs to rebuild them. Yes, 3 now on the field. 2 are here with the Archmage, 1 is here moving towards the Archmage thanks to the rally point. And the Archmage needs to pay attention because he's low HP already. Does he have a shop? He's building the shop now. It looks like he doesn't have enough HP to go for the burrows. So at least Focus did a good job keeping the health points of the Archmage rather low. And with that, his bestiary, his double bestiary, are going to go up. Block of Shadows coming in very handy for Hawk here. He needs to regenerate HP, and he should be able to get a potion soon. So Tier 2 is finished, it's completed. So he's gonna start Mountain King production, or is he going to get an Alchemist? That's a Mountain King, which I feel is always the right call versus Orc, unless you're ahead. If you're ahead, you can go for an Alchemist, but I'm not sure. I don't think Hawk is ahead anymore. Because yes, he had a good early game, but it didn't do any damage to Focus tech. And that's a big deal, as Focus will be able to produce his Wyverns here without being contested. While the perfect early mid game for human is if you can get level 3 and then go for the burrows, and then go for the economic damage, keeping the Orc supply stuck, or even just cancelling the bestiaries, or the lodge, or the totem torrent, or whatever type of Tier 2 building the Orc wants to build, and the Archmage is stuck into the base. And this is why... Oh my god. This is why I don't like to close my base on this map. On this map I always like to leave big space, big opening. Which might expose you to the harass, but it's certainly safer. You avoid scenarios like this where you are trapped and Hawk can potentially lose the game here just because of that Archmage stuck into his base. Now loses the Mountain King, and all of a sudden it looks pretty good for Focus. But is he going to commit to Wyverns, or is he going to switch to a mixed army of Raiders and Wyverns? It doesn't have a Totem Torrent, so he can't get Walkers. I feel like Wyverns can be good if you combine them with Walkers. So they have Spirit Link, they are more tanky, but Wyverns only. They're kinda easily countered by Sorceresses and Dragonhawks. Hawk doesn't have a Lumber Mill yet, so maybe he thinks to counter those Wyverns only with Sorks. Oh no, he's getting the Lumber Mill, yeah. I don't think you can counter them only with Sorceresses. You need those Dragonauts or Copters. But of course, to get Coppers you need a Blacksmith as well. Blacksmith, Workshop. And then you have units, the Copters, who get destroyed by bats and they don't deal any damage to ground units. With the Dragonauts at least you have a little bit of damage against ground units as well. They don't do a lot of damage, in fact they do very low and very low damage unless you mess them, but they still attack. They do attack ground units as well, while the Copters only attack air units unless you research the bombs, which means you have to get even more upgrades and stuff. So Hawk is now doing the standard typical harass with Wyvern. When you have a decent number of Wyverns you want to go for peasants, so Hawk is reacting with Scout Tower. This tower needs to go up, and he's producing a Blacksmith, so he wants to get rifles, I guess. In the meanwhile he's doing more creeping, but Focus is creeping as well, putting himself closer to level 3 Farseer, as the Shadow Hunter is already level 2. MK is level 2 as well, however Hawk is in no fighting position for the time being. And that Archmage blocked in his own base was very unfortunate. I feel like without that Hawk would still be in a decent position in this game, but Archmage being trapped caused him to lose the MK, giving additional experience to the Orc, who is now almost level 3. Shadow Hunter just needs one more kill to get level 3, and that's a scary orc army, as we don't have enough rifles to deal with all those wyverns for the time being. And this creepjack could be very nasty. Hawk is pulling back, but look at the damage that those wyverns deal to the sorceresses. However, everything is slowed now for the orc. But, okay. Only one water elemental is shooting for the time being, not the highest DPS. Focus, everything is low for him, so he decides to town portal out, saving most of his wyverns. And this gives Hawk the time to finally creep this camp, possibly get a good item. You can get the greater mana pot, which is what Hawk would like to get here. So he's playing rifles. No Dragonox, just rifle casters, and more and more rifles. Yeah. And Focus gets the Golem as well, gets the potion of invulnerability, very good against the Mountain King, while Hawk got the Greater Healing. That's not bad against Chain Lightning, against the strong focus, the strong era focus potential of the wyverns. Now basically both players are doing the same creep route, going for the Renegade Wizard level 5 here. Let's take a look at the food, as we see 49 food for Focus, just a little bit less for Hawk, but looks like Focus just lost a unit to the Crips. Okay, and he's towering the Expo now. Hawk needs to scout that, because if Focus manages to expand, then he can just play a hit and run game style with the wyverns. And I feel like one tower is not enough here. You need at least 2 to defend from all those wyverns, maybe even 3, especially since he doesn't have masonry. So with 3 towers you can be safe. With 2 I don't think so, certainly not with 1. Even if those wyverns don't have any upgrades yet. But in a fair fight, the orc cannot win, as this is a legit human army with 5 rifles already, water elementals, and plenty of swords to slow everything. And they are full mana.
Research complete.
All of the swords are full mana. A level 4 for the Farseer, level 3 Shadow Hunter as well, almost level 4. And is the MK level 3? Yes, he is. Boots of Cultalast for a little bit of more additional tankiness, but certainly not item that you would like to give to your MK. Zeppelin drop now for Focus, and he's buying himself so much time for his towers, and now he's building Shamans. Potentially for Bloodlust, but we don't have tier 3 yet. And I'm pretty sure if he gets Shaman, then his goal is going to be getting tier 3 for Bloodlust. So far they come in quite handy for the Purge, giving more experience to Focus. Now needs only 1 kill for the level 4 on the Shadow Hunter. And Hawk is struggling in this game. Can't move from his base because only 1 tower. And we already have 3 towers here. 2 towers, almost 3. And that's why I think that you need Copters, or at least Dragonox. Probably Dragonox to deal with wyverns. You can't just rely on rifles for this very simple reason. Rifles are slow, they are clunky, they block each other, can't move them fast, and most important, they can't move on the trees like air units would do. So if you have like 4 or 5 Dragonox, you can easily shackle all of these wyverns making them ineffective. But if you only have rifles, you can only fight. You can only fight in an open field, but if you don't, the orc doesn't give you the fight. You can't use them. So now Hawk decides to attack, but this means he has to basically give up his main, losing all of his peasants. And now the orc can just retreat with the Zeppelin. And this looks very painful now, but again, this can be countered preemptively by choosing to go Dragonhawks or even Copters instead of rifles.
Ready to work.
And I think Copters might be good here because not only they do a lot of damage to Wyverns, but with the Copters you counter the Zeppelin.
Ready to work.
When there's a Copter in the field, the Zeppelin has only one choice, which is to run away from the Copter. So the lack of mobility of this human army is potentially costing him the game now, as Focus is just rebuilding those towers and trying to re-establish the expansion again. He can't creep for the time being because all of his wyverns are here,
Our forces are under attack.
so he's not creeping. But I've played a similar style many times on Leather, and anytime I manage to somehow keep the humans in their own base, for a long time, then usually I win the game. So I'm pretty sure that Focus is gonna win this game. Don't see what the human could do now, it's too late to anything really. Yes, he can cancel these towers, but he's gonna lose all of his income. And it's still gonna be income versus no income, as Focus still has almost 2,000 gold to work with. And I'm not even sure that Hawk can break this. Town portal again? Yeah,
Job's done.
that's GG.
Job's done.
Five towers. With reinforced defenses, of course.
Job's done.
And now Focus is switching to raiders. And I feel like if he gets decent amount of shamans, raiders and the Kodo, then he can win a real fight.
Ready to
In
work.
fact, I think he can already win a real fight. Yeah, just need one more raider and the Kodo. He's at 71, while Hawk is at 49.
Ready to work.
And this comes to this situation, this scenario only happens because of that Archmage getting stuck in the early mid game, which wasted Hawk a lot of time. Otherwise you can just tower rush here. I mean, you got level 3 and you tower rush. The Orc didn't have any grunts. I mean, he had like 1 or 2 grunts. He even lost 1 grunt because he wasn't snared. You have level 3. Archer is level 2. You just tower rush. You push this base. You tower rush this base. And Wyvern's absolutely terrible at defending tower rushes. They're good at attacking, but what's it worth it to get a few peasants here if you can't hold your base because the human is tower rushing? The problem is he couldn't tower rush because His Archmage was stuck in his base and his MK died, so he was forced to be defensive, while he wanted to be aggressive against Wyverns.
Our forces are under attack.
And then, another mistake I think was getting rifles. Like I said before, you want to have Dragonhawks or Copters. Certainly not rifles. If you get rifles, you see what happens. The bears, the wyverns will just hide behind the trees. There's absolutely nothing you can do. Now he's forced into a fight against towers and the superior food army, as it's 79 for Focus versus 53, and there is absolutely zero chance that human can win this fight. Even away from the towers, but especially not in front of the towers. Look at the amount of wyverns. It's not even, the Kodo is not even in range, I think. Okay, now he is. And the Orc will absolutely destroy this human army. There's not even need to see this fight. Rifles still do good damage. Look at the damage they do to the wyverns, but zero focus. Town portal out for Hawk, and still a solid 11 foot advantage for Hawk, no, for Focus. Level 5 for the Archmage, level 4 for the MK. So you saw how strong the human army can be in a fair fight if you go for rifles, but what's it worth it if you don't have the income anymore? And if the Orc has an expansion? So this is the last push that Hawk will be able to perform. He needs to win the game here, or the Orc is gonna win. And look at the amount of shamans that we have. Still not level and not tier 3, so I don't know why I didn't go tier 3 yet all the time. He's choosing to use the shamans only for purge. But I feel like Bloodlust would be very good here. Anyways, he's still gonna win, so it doesn't really matter. Pain Lightning is wrecking those rifles. Purge is getting rid of all the water elementals, so there's no additional damage versus the wyverns, and everything is falling for the human. MK pops the Greater Reeling. Pain Lightning hits Archmage. Delisha being cold, but game gonna go to the Orc. And GG.